Hello, can everybody hear me? Perfect. So this presentation will be in English, and my name is Christopher, as she pointed out. And we have a little bit of a surprise in this agenda today. I will bring you very briefly through what Aico does, and then we actually have a customer who has been calling in from Signify, who will be talking about their journey with Aico. So without further ado, Aico is a financial close automation platform. We are a Finnish company from Finland. We have offices in Latvia, Germany, and the UK. We have around 50 enterprise customers at the moment. We're growing very fast, and we are implementing Aico globally for large organizations, which is our focus. And we've been around since 2008 doing financial close automation. Jumping ahead here. So this is the Aico platform, along with all of the modules in the platform. We're also having a stand over close to Accounting Summit stand. We're happy to have a live demo going on there, so if anybody would like to see more details of how these modules work in practice, then please feel free to come to our stand. We'll be very happy to show you how these work in practice. But these are the different process areas that Aico covers. And then just a little bit about what makes Aico stand out from other companies on the market. The first part is that Aico is a unified platform. And what we mean by that is that it's truly unified. We have no acquisitions ever made that have the same code base. Everything is built into one single platform, which allows the platform to talk to each other, and all of the modules that you saw are talking to each other, and they're linked to each other as well. Another key aspect is that we are truly live, especially with SAP. So we're talking with the general ledger. We are posting journals directly into the general ledger through Aico. We're retrieving data for the reconciliation process in a live manner. So the users are truly working and streaming the data from SAP. So there's not much difference from actually performing these postings or retrieving the account information from SAP. It's almost the same as you would be working in SAP. The final point, or the third final point, is that Aico is hyperconfigurable. So the customers come to us with the way that they want their process to work, and we configure Aico to meet that process. Instead of a kind of vendor-based approach where we say, this is what we have, this is what you'll have to do. We configure through the hyper-configurability. We ensure that the customer gets their unique process configured into the Aico system. And finally, we have been praised for our exceptional support services. Just a couple more kind of unique differentiators. We have unlimited number of users, so we're licensed based on companies. It allows you to scale Aico also to the business area, supporting with the financial close. We're very transparent with what is included in the licensing, so no hidden costs. And we are continuously developing. Just in the last 2 years, we've developed 3 new modules. So the majority of our revenue is going to increasing the tools functionality and integration capabilities. So we're a very tech-focused company at the moment. Here are some of our customers. AkzoNobel has 300 legal entities connected to Aico. They're posting around 500,000 journals through Aico, manual journals through Aico each year. They have 7 different SAP systems, all connected to Aico. Signify, who you will hear about soon, has 3 different SAP systems and are using all of our core modules, the closing task manager, the account reconciliations, the journal entry tool. And very soon you'll hear a little bit more about Andre talking about that. Just a couple of different ERP systems that we've had experience with integrating to. SAP is our most, we have quite a unique integration to SAP. However, other ERP systems, we are able to connect to those as well through API. So we are ERP agnostic, and happy to tell you also more about those possibilities in our stand after the presentation. So our customer base is on average around 7 billion in revenue, and we truly prefer complexity. So the more complexity you have, the better fit Aico usually is because of how the platform is designed. So without further ado, I will hand over to Andre, and he will be taking you through how their journey with Aico has been so far. Just going to put on the audio here.
Hey, hello everyone. Can everyone hear me over there?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Oh.
So officially then, hello everyone. My name is Andrzej Wieczorek. I am a finance project manager for Signify, and today I will walk you through some parts of our journey with the Aico platform in the last 4 years. Now, during the presentation, first a few words about our company, then we will move on to the challenges we were facing and why Aico was selected to begin with. Then I'll discuss how it was implemented, what were the results of the implementation project, and a brief discussion about the iterative improvements we've been doing on the platform since it first went live. So, first of all, who do I represent, right? So, Signify is the world leader in conventional lighting, LED, and connected lighting. And our innovation contributes to a safer, smarter, more sustainable world. In practice, that means you might have seen our work since we offer lighting as a service and light many various buildings across the world, but you might not have realized it was Signify actually. What this means in practice is that we're a global company with units, factories, service centers across the whole globe. So we need our accounting process to be both standardized and meeting local legal requirements, which has always been a challenging balancing act. And this brings us to where we were 4 years ago when Aico was selected as a solution. Now, in the case of these type of platforms and systems, it is important to note that how much benefit you get from them very often depends where you are with your current processes. Now, we were, you could say, a demanding client because we already had existing platforms. We had multiple tools that already fulfilling on paper most of the functionalities Aico offers. But these were separate tools which all were facing limitations and flaws. We were not fully satisfied, we were looking for something better. At the time of the selection, we had acquired a new company as part of our growth strategy, and that new acquisition did not have any automation and had totally different standards from the rest of Signify, so we had to bring them in. And this triggered a certain analysis of where we were at the time. We had multiple tools being used for finance. We had a different tool for journal vouchers, a different tool for closing of the month, and a different tool for reconciliations. And all of them worked. All of them worked correctly, but they did not cooperate with each other. There was no interconnectivity between them, which was causing performance issues for our accountants. On top of that, we are faced with a lot of local activities, which they were not part of a standard, global standard, because they were related to the local requirements for specific countries, but they had to be maintained. So our previous solutions did not support such localization. So in many cases, those were activities still kept in Excel, despite the fact that we already had automation tools. Two further issues we were facing at the time was that reporting for our tooling was only available to users after the fact. So once our month-end closing process ended, we had the reports how it went on. But during the actual process, it was very difficult to extract in a fast and efficient way data to see where people were within their processes. And finally, because of this fragmentation of the tools, the possibility to share practices between our centers, between our divisions, was very restricted. So what we're looking for was an advanced platform that would be integrated, that interconnected, allow us to grow our digital finance process, would allow us for real-time monitoring of it, and most importantly, that it would work smoothly as a single solution and scale. So this was important to us because, like I said, we already had solutions. We did not want to lose the efficiency, the automations, the time savings we've already achieved previously by switching to a new tool. We wanted to keep the gains we had and get more. So that brings us to what we decided to go with Aico. Aico offers a number of products. We focus on the three ones which we found critical for our successful growth. That is reconciliations, month-end closing tasks, and journals. We are also investigating variance monitoring and intercompany modules, but in the end, those we have not yet implemented. And the requirements based on which our Aico build was created were the following. We required that our journal vouchers were validated against live SAP data. No virtual databases, it had to be live data from our SAP system. We wanted to have multiple different workflows for our journals, depending on the amounts, depending on who was raising them. We have subcontractors, of course. We live in a world of outsourcing, so some users we trust more than others. This had to be reflected in the approval flows. We wanted our month-end closing and our reconciliations to be integrated together with our journals, so that we could clearly see when journals originated from a closing activity or were connected to a reconciliation, that this would be clearly visible within the platform. Wanted to maintain our month-end closing automation. Now, to be very clear, our previous solution was quite strong in this area, but it was, again, not connected with anything outside the pure automation. So the goal here was to keep the existing level of automation on a similar level and to achieve automation in our reconciliations. In the past, we had different platforms where we ran to the issue that the platform didn't give enough customization, simply put. So we required that the reconciliations would be signed off per account, per company code. So different sign-off rules would apply to different accounts. Just to give you a brief, let's say, example, you want to put a different emphasis on checking your bank accounts, which control the outgoing funds, to accounts which are touched once a month or once a quarter or once a year. So we wanted this to be reflected. The same variances, the same balance difference, even within a company code on different accounts, had to be treated differently. And we required that the solution being implemented fulfill that. And all those points were met by Aico. So when the build was finally launched, it covered our key critical needs, but that's the design. The real question when introducing a new platform is how it actually performs. And here we were, I have to say, extremely positively surprised, because we had a very smooth launch despite having to go for a big bang deployment for 2 of the 3 modules. So overall, from the technical side, our platform had a 98.5% stability once went live. That means only 1.5 of any of the activities failed due to technical issues. And 99.9 of the manual journal vouchers created within the platform were successfully posted within SAP. So the interconnection there worked really well. The 3 modules were successfully deployed as per design, so we had no major blocking issues during the project. The most important ones were the big bang deployment. So we launched all of our reconciliations globally across all company codes, that's over 100 units, at the same time. Because with reconciliations, we needed a single standard for our audit. Same with journals, we needed a single standard deployed everywhere. We could not afford to go company by company, region by region. We had to have one standard across the globe. And Aico survived that. The module was launched successfully, everything worked. So, in the case of month-end closing, we could afford a phased deployment because there it was more about catering to country-level requirements, so we deployed that region by region. But again, very successful. Now, the impacts of this change in tooling and switching to the Aico platform. As I mentioned before, we already had automations, and all of them were maintained in the new tool. So all our improvements and hard work, so to speak, over the previous decade was not lost just because we had to change the software. That is not always the case. The very big change we observed was in the reconciliations module. In the past, we were blocked from using automatic reconciliations mostly because of the lack of customization of our previous solution, but Aico was able to support us here. So at present, 58% of our reconciliations can be auto-signed off because there are no movements on those specific accounts, or the movements fall within an acceptable variance. In the past, that was a 0% of automation. This was a fully manual process. All those reconciliations had to be reviewed by hand. So that was a very big game changer for us. And finally, as far as the MJV posting are concerned, switching the platform from our previous solution to the current one eliminated delays in the process. Technical delays just incurred by how our previous solution was working. So depending on the MJV type, there was between a 2 and a 15-minute wait time from where the user requested and got the approval for the posting and when the posting was made. And this was fully eliminated. However, it is important to note that what we implemented 2 years ago when we went live globally is not what we have today. One of the really strong sides of the Aico platform is its customization. So we have been focusing on iterative improvements across the board in all areas, and the platform has supported that. So our reconciliations, once automated, we could focus on their quality and then optimize their frequency, those approved variances. Our accountants could pay more focus on the quality of the process because the process became much faster, much more streamlined, and much more reliable technically. We have almost no technical issues each month, which translates into focus being moved to ensuring good process quality. So in the month-end closing, the focus has been on removing activities which are not added value. On the MJV side, we've been focusing on automating general vouchers which are recurring in one way or another. So not just recurring journals with the same amount every month, but actually recurring process activities which we can automate using the robust functionalities Aico offers here. And to give you one example, maybe, this is for month-end closing. Within 1 year of the initial implementation, we identified 30% of manual activities being previously done as non-added value, and they were removed. So activities which in the past users would sign off and perform just because that was the standard process. Now, once everything was standardized, that reporting visibility became a factor that we could actually track what was being done, how it was being done. We were able to really identify waste in our process and start removing it, thanks to the tooling Aico has offered us in this platform. And this has been one of the biggest benefits. It wasn't just the initial implementation that gave us a success, but the tool set which we could then use to optimize our processes that we moved to the Aico platform. And with that, I thank you everyone for your attention and handing
Thank you,
back
Andrei.
to Krista.
So I think at this stage, happy to take any questions, if you have any questions for us.
So I think we have one question, and the question is, do auditors use or work with the platform for year-end close, documentation trail, no IPE testing, reasons, etc.?
Sorry, was that do auditors? Yes. So we have a like this read-only user rights access to auditors. So because, you know, for example, if you post a journal through a closing task, those two documents are linked. The supporting evidence is there in Aico. So auditors from Deloitte, KPMG, PwC have been using Aico to perform the audit and make it much easier to do the audit as well as the documents are linked. So it saves time as well on the time that you need to spend with the auditors to guide them through the system. Yeah.
Are there any more questions? I think not at this moment, but where we can find you today?
Yes,
here.
we are there next to the, from the entrance, just the second kind of row of booths. You will see the turquoise colors. We have a live demo going on there, so please feel free to come to the stand. Happy to answer any of your questions or even show you how Aico works there. So welcome.
Thank you very much.